Okay, brilliant. We're live. Okay, hello everyone. Hopefully you can all hear me. I hope you are all doing okay. Um, I'm personally quite happy since I just seen on uh, the Minute Students Union Instagram page that our exams will be online. So that's great, and I'm really happy about that because it kind of relieves the pressure a little bit, and I'm sure it'll be the same for everyone. Really. Hopefully you can all hear me. I've probably already said that, but anyway. Basically, as you might remember from last year, I was doing the PPF football show on Mars FM, and I decided basically to rebrand the podcast into basically doing whatever I want, essentially. So whether that's a news story that captures my attention, or maybe I go back to football, whatever, who knows. And yeah, basically the name Pablo kind of represents the kind of randomness because it's the most random thing I could think of. So hopefully that clears up a couple of things. But yeah, the main thing I'm going to talk about today is, I guess, nothing new to people who've watched Narcos in Mexico, but it's again cartel feuds, and this particular one that's happening in Mexico at the minute is in a place which I've never heard of before. It's called Zacatecas, and I guess it caught my attention because I think what was it? Let me think. Wednesday? Yeah, I think it was Wednesday. There was I just read a story on Al Jazeera or whatever. It just popped up, right, and it was something like six people found dead in a shooting as the cartel feud intensifies. So I was like, well, that's a great topic to start us off. Something nice and morbid. But yeah, I guess in this place in Zacatecas, it's not exactly um, it's not exactly a new thing for people being killed. At least 948 people have been killed in the first 10 months of 2021, which I think is mad. And that's 342 more than last year. And it's mad. I was looking up headlines, just whatever, and the Mexican like journal newspapers are mad, right? Because they will not stop. They will like post a picture of just like 10 bodies just being strung together, and it's not just gang members that are being killed now. It's police captains, members of the police, members of the army. It's an absolute, how would I say it? It's bedlam. It's a really bad situation in Mexico at the minute. It's not new, but I guess it's not something that's regularly talked about in the news. So I thought it would be a good thing to talk about. So I guess the main thing that you'd want to be all thinking of is, oh, where is Zacatecas? It's actually a place located in the north of Brazil, and it's actually kind of, I guess, um, famous for its rich deposits of silver and minerals. But yeah, basically, um, the main conflict is between two cartels: the Sinaloa cartel, made famous in Narcos, Mexico, and the Jalisco New Generation cartel, or CJNG for short. I'm not sure why it's done it that way, but it's backwards, but whatever. And essentially, Zacatecas is essentially a place where there are three main routes for drugs, drugs, drug trafficking, human trafficking as well, and also arms trafficking. So essentially, Zacatecas is like the place which connects Mexico. I'll just have a look here to the center, to like stuff like to like Mexico City, and then to the Pacific, uh, to the likes of Jalisco and Guadalajara, and to the Gulf in the north, where there's stuff like Texas and America, which is obviously a big, I guess, a big market for Mexican stuff. I guess cartel stuff in general. A lot of drugs goes to America. Same as with Pablo Escobar with the cocaine going to Miami in when was that? That would have been the late 80s, early 90s. It's pretty much the same thing here, but it's again drugs, human trafficking, all that sort of stuff. And I guess we'll talk about the I guess main drug parties involved. So we've got the Jalisco guys, and I love these names, but they're headed up by Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes. A very lovely name for. I'm sure he's a lovely man. Killed a couple of people, but I'm sure he's grand. And they're based in Jalisco, which is in western Mexico. And then we've got the Sinaloa cartel, which is also obviously, as I've said, probably third time now. But anyway, they're made famous by Netflix, and they were set up by a guy known called Miguel Felix Gallardo, and they are based in northwestern Mexico. I actually read something recently where uh, Miguel was kind of still involved as such, even though he's in prison. But yeah, they kind of, I think they've sent him to a more maximum security prison now. So he obviously can't really control anything, but I'm sure he's got loads of trusted lieutenants doing all the dirty work for him. So he's safe in jail. So I guess nothing really is going to happen to him. Is there really? Um, in terms of I guess it's kind of depressing that all this has to happen. And even just on the subject of like deaths and stuff, it's like a regular occurrence, and it's not like one person will be found dead. It's like a regular occurrence in terms of, I guess, like multiple people dying. So like last week, for example, 10 bodies were discovered on a motorway. Nine were suspended from a bridge. Like Jesus Christ, imagine! Like, can you imagine that? And then in June, the bullet-ridden bodies of 18 men were found in what the entire is. So there was like a massive gun battle, basically, but like 18 people. I mean, it's just mad. It kind of makes you think how lucky we are to be here, I guess, and here as in Ireland, and not exactly caught up in all this. But it must be terrible for the people, for just like the locals or whatever, locals, not whatever, but yeah, locals. And I guess it kind of makes you think, and yeah, we're definitely lucky to be where we are at the minute, and yeah, it just kind of it's mad how everything is different around the world, really, isn't it? But yeah, that was the main topic of my show today. Also, I just seen another news headline today. I just include this good story moment. Bear with me now. So, another story that I just thought I'd touch on really quickly is Sweden. And Sweden, we all love Sweden, but they've got their first female PM this week. Her name is Magdalena Andersson, and she is of the Social Democrats. Very interesting. Social Democrats have more power here. She's 54 years old, and she's going to replace the outgoing leader, Stefan Löfven. And yeah, it was actually done through a parliamentary vote. So 117 out of 174 people vote. Oh, 117 people voted for her, while 174 voted against her, and 57 abstained. That's interesting. I'm sure she'll do a great job, and of course, it's great for women. And yeah, I guess it's kind of following the trend with Scandinavian countries, because we've obviously got Norway, Denmark, Finland, and Iceland who've all seen women head their governments in the past. So it's nice to see Sweden joining not the trend, but I guess not joining the trend, but I guess progressing in a good direction, which is always nice. So yeah, hopefully I haven't given you any bad feelings for the week, but if I have, I'm sorry, but I'm just reporting the news really. And yeah, join me next week where I will be talking about probably another random story that I will find. And yeah, hopefully you enjoy. And make sure to stick on to Mars FM because we should have a couple of shows. We have Goffale, which was at Sophie this week, which is very interesting, I'm sure. And we should have a couple more shows coming once, um, once I guess. I don't know. I probably should explain that because I know nobody cares, but essentially we as a society have been struggling with because we are not allowed into the studio with COVID because the ventilation isn't working in the studio. So during COVID that's not really going to work and it's not really going to be ideal. But so we decided basically to go back onto StreamYard, which we quite enjoyed last year. I know some of well, I know at least one person who kind of enjoyed listening to me every week, so that was nice. But yeah, fingers crossed. Maybe semester two we might be back in, but the way it's going at the minute, back in the studio, I mean. But by the looks of it, it's not looking great at the minute. But yeah, apart from that, bear with me. But yeah, this should be a fun show, and I'm looking forward to doing it at least until the end of semester two, and then we'll see what happens after that. All right. Have a good weekend, everybody, and everybody, and I'll talk to you next week. All right. Goodbye, everyone.